Having heard Rigathi Gachagua in his various media interviews,
goons raiding supermarkets as police watch. You have seen videos, goons having conversation with police officers. You saw during the demonstrations against the death of Albert Ojwang, goons singing praises in the praise of Governor Nairobi outside City Hall. Today, it is now 2 weeks. None has been arrested. Those images are there. That is not the work of Rigathi Gachagua.
But you, Mr. Gachagua, are on record talking about state-sponsored goons. Where is the evidence?
The evidence is that if you see goons in a police vehicle, who owns that police vehicle? That is the state. If you see goons wreaking havoc and police are just watching, you don't need rocket science to know who has sponsored the goons. You know, if goons are wreaking havoc the whole day and none has been arrested, it's obvious who has brought those goons, because the government cannot arrest their own goons. If these goons were brought by the opposition, as they are alleging, Michelle, all of them would be custody, they would be in court.
And after listening carefully to Kalonzo Musyoka's interviews,
na mshauri Murkomen asitaje maneno kama haya, because hiyo, in fact, hiyo inasikia hata investors, itahujumu uchumi hata zaidi. Kwa sababu kama Murkomen anaweza kusema raia wa Kenya wanaweza kupindua serikali, basi nani atakuja kuwa mwekezaji hapa? So ni mambo ambayo matamshi mengine yanahujumu. And I think this is it. I can understand the desperation.
And also after listening to Dr. Okengo Fred Matiang'i in his interview with Citizen TV.
Right. Bodies were found in Akwari here, and some lackluster guy was arrested. Then he walked out of a police station from the middle of our capital city, and then that is it. I know the capacity of our security forces. I know the capacity of our intelligence forces. You cannot tell me that that guy walked like that into thin air and left. When our terrorists escaped from prison here at Kamiti Maximum Prison when I was Minister for Interior, within 72 hours, we not only had the terrorists back, we had taken all the administrative actions, including firing the Commissioner General of the Prison Service. So there are things that need to be done.
Yet, I can authoritatively say here that these three candidates are qualified to become, either of them can become a presidential candidate. Either of them. Anyone. If they settle on Gachagua, tick. If they settle on Kalonzo, tick. If they settle on Matiang'i, tick. Only if they remain together. But if they divide, then definitely some people here will lose votes seriously. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you this. In politics, there are factors that are always considered for you to become a presidential candidate in the country. And when I make my statement that these three candidates qualify, my statement is actually emerging from the fact that these candidates meet all these conditions. Number one is the issue of numbers. When we talk about the numbers, let me start with Rigathi Gachagua. On his side, that is a tick. A tick on the basis that he has the huge and entire Mount Kenya by his side. And he's saying he's going to mobilize 8 million against William Ruto. Those numbers are huge. And if he mobilizes 8, then he can even get a president from there without even having other regions on board. If 8 million is there. So Rigathi Gachagua has numbers. When it comes to Kalonzo Musyoka, he has numbers. But those numbers will come from the unity that they have. So if he becomes the flag bearer, the numbers of Gachagua and Matiang'i will add to the numbers of Kalonzo. Done. When it comes to Matiang'i, he also has numbers. Based on his popularity across the country, and based on his character, and most importantly his track record, he also has numbers. But for him to win the presidency, he needs Rigathi Gachagua and Kalonzo together. Now, when it comes to popularity, I have to state it categorically that we are yet to determine the popularity of candidates. But at this level here, Gachagua's popularity has immensely grown, that one of Kalonzo as well, and that of Matiang'i is still at the top. So the popularity these people have, it is unbelievable. They can completely become leaders of this country. So therefore, when it comes to the popularity, tick. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to the issue to do with finance, here is where the problem is. However, finance should not determine who becomes the presidential candidate, but because if they sit down and agree, they can be able to support each other. But if they are not agreeing in any case, and the only ground available is finance, then I think Matiang'i qualifies because of the people that he has on board, and followed by Gachagua, then Kalonzo. But however, Gachagua and Kalonzo are not limited to look for money that can enable them to campaign seriously. I know the journey of Rigathi Gachagua to the US, it will involve actually fundraising for his campaigns. So the fact remains that the finance aspect, Matiang'i, despite leading, it is not going to stop others from coming on board. So the fact also means here that this team, when it comes to finance, they can complement each other. If they decide to front Kalonzo, Matiang'i can contribute to the campaigns, have Rigathi Gachagua as well, and of course Kalonzo also with these resources. When it comes to track record, I have to admit that Gachagua has a good one, especially when he was a member of parliament for who? For where? Madeira. Matiang'i as well qualifies well because when he was in the interior, education and ICT, he did tremendously well. Kalonzo Musyoka has a problem with track record based on the fact that he did not do anything big that we can remember him for. So therefore, as we speak today, it's very clear that Kalonzo Musyoka, despite having the issue to do with track record, I think he has character that is very important going forward. He has never been accused of any serious case of corruption, and is that guy who has never been accused of any form of death. He has never been associated with any form of brutality. So he has a good character that he brings on board. So if these people decide to front anyone as we speak today, the only thing they're going to look at it is the problems that have been witnessed or maybe experienced by Kenyans from William Ruto's regime. They will simply ask themselves, in William Ruto's government, what is this that we are going to fix? And amongst us, the three of them, who is going to fix this problem? Who can fix it well? There is where now they are going to find the answer to the Kenyan problem. And as a result, the Kenyans will support the candidate they bring on board. But if they will only consider finance, numbers, and only consider the ability that this person has this is this audit of this level, or maybe this has money, no, it can't work. You must give a popular candidate that will be a better option at the ballot to that William Ruto, that of William Ruto. So that has to be very clear to you guys. The reason why I'm saying this is this. William Ruto is seriously working hard. And apart from that, he has Raila Odinga by his side. So there is no way the opposition team can fail to organize themselves. No way. They have to organize themselves, put themselves together, and make sure that they are moving as a team. That is the only way to win. Today's Western Rally has few significant things that I'm able to see there. Them going to campaign jointly. Them also enjoying themselves together. That is a good thing. That's a good rapport they are creating. But we also have to state it here that I personally feel there's a wrong game they are playing, and I'm going to do an extensive video on that. But the fact remains, they only have one constant: remaining together to the end. That's the only constant that is making them, that will make them to be able to beat President William Ruto. Because the divide and rule that William Ruto is using, it's scary to the opposition. And they have to admit that. But they can only surpass that by being sober and ensuring that they organize themselves accordingly. I don't know what is your take as far as this is concerned, but I have a strong feeling that that is what that is what the opposition has to do to ensure at least they have beaten President William Ruto come 2027. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I always welcome you guys to comment on my comment section. And I also ask you kindly to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, I want to urge you, for those who come from the Gusii region, to consider a channel I just started by the name Gusii, Mukua Gusii version, which does local politics. You can be able to get there, subscribe. Search on that on YouTube, you can be able to find it. But I will pin here the comment section. I'll be pinning the link there. Kindly, you can always engage, tap the link, go watch the videos there. And if it is possible, please subscribe kindly. That's how you can make the YouTube channel grow and eventually reach where this one has reached. For those who've been supporting me all along, I want to thank you so much for taking a second or two to watch my channel, my videos here. I really appreciate it. I've gotten a number of you who call me to talk to me about the kind of videos I do, what I need to improve, how I should do some of these things. And I really appreciate that you do that immensely. Ladies and gentlemen, also don't forget that I give my numbers the M-Pesa one, so that for those who want to contribute and support the channel can always come through. For those who have done so, I want to thank you so much. Like now, Ndugo, you did a wonderful job yesterday. You bought me some nice coffee, and I thank you for that. Feel free to support the channel every time you are watching my videos, and that is the best support you can always give me. See you next time.